Giovanni Villani was born at around 1275 in the Italian city-state of Florence. Writing during the early 14th century, Giovanni Villani's great modern significance is as a chronicler. His chronica, or Nuova Chronica, literally translated to chronicle, was an attempt at a comprehensive history of Florence. Florence's situation as a powerful city-state was a rare one within the Europe of the day, one of several city-states to appear following the power vacuum left in northern Italy after the recession of imperial power during the investiture crisis. It is into this fairly unique social landscape that Villani was born. While many medieval chroniclers were monks, almost customarily so, Villani was not. He belongs from birth to the popolo, the Florentine class of wealthy professionals. He hailed from a merchant family, and in addition to his connection to the wool finishers guild, he would become deeply involved in the banking industry. In 1300 he would join the Peruzzi Company, a prominent bank, as a partner. He would travel around Europe and several parts of Italy in his role promoting the bank's interest, a somewhat unusual experience in an era of static communities. Villani would return to Florence for his marriage in 1307, at which point he would settle and would begin writing his chronica the year after. I'll treat upon his work as a chronicler separately, as writing certainly wasn't the only thing that Villani had going on. He would embark upon a storied political career and pursue many business interests, largely in a variety of banks and guilds. He would serve as a prior, a member of the governing council of Florence on two separate occasions, in 1316, when he would be involved in peace negotiations with several other city-states, and in 1321. In addition to this, he would hold various other political positions in his lifetime, serving a term as head of the city mint in 1316, where he would begin an official registry of the coins minted there, and as a magistrate during a famine in 1329, which he was tasked with provisioning Florence against. He was not a wholly uncontroversial figure, however. He would serve jail time for debt in 1338, and several years later was implicated in the bankruptcy of the Bardi, one of the banks he held shares in, as well as several other companies. He would be imprisoned for this in around 1345, though for how long is unclear, possibly because he had significant control over our sources of information regarding the time. And he would die soon after in 1348, most likely of the Black Death. Giovanni Villani's work on the Chronica would last from 1308 until 1348, the year of his death, though it would go on to include 11 additional books by Matteo and Filippo Villani, his brother and nephew respectively. As one might assume from its long gestation period, the Chronica is a very extensive work. At the time of Giovanni Villani's death, it comprised 12 books. These form a universal history from a Florentine vantage point, and largely regard Florence's history. As we can expect from accounts of this time, various events of mythologized biblical history are also included. However, the Chronica differs from other similar works in some notable ways. It is Villani's background which arguably lends his work extra significance as a historical text, and a historiographical one. Villani was, as we know, a merchant, a politician, and deeply involved in finance. As an embodiment of his civic pride, Chronica is in part devoted to the ideation of Florence as a spiritual successor to Rome. Villani's Florence is flourishing, and as proof of this work, he includes a great deal of statistical data detailing the administration of the city, something that is largely not focused on in more ecclesiastical accounts. His figures stay within believable limits and offer us the opportunity for analysis. One piece of demographic evidence he gives, for example, is the first ever documentation of birth rate in a European city. He gives details of the sex ratio of these babies and how many are baptized, and his findings are that a somewhat higher proportion of boys were baptized in Florence than girls, allowing us to speculate on why that might be. While clearly very influenced by the values of his class and vehemently patriotic, Villani attempted to foster some impartiality where he could, and provided a relatively even-handed account of the Guelph-Ghibelline feud, though personally aligned with the Guelphs. Altogether, Villani would contribute a great deal to the ongoing history of Florence, and to historiography as a whole, a figure who in a way emblematized the Italian city-state.